What's going on, guys? Matt Wacek here, and welcome back to another video. So the other day I heard a commercial, and the vast majority of the time if I hear a commercial and it's not relevant to anything in my life or anything where I want to go with my life, I tune it out. However, at the end of a 1-800-ASK-GARY commercial that happened to hear the other day, they stated with their fine print at the end, which it was pretty much verbatim for what they had stated here on their disclaimer for their privacy policy, was that they're an affiliate of Physicians Group LLC, and how they were not an attorney or a law firm, but they basically will refer you to one. So that got my mind turning a little bit, and then I started doing a little bit of research because I was thinking, wait a second, affiliate, it's just a phone number, and if you even just hover over, and you can see their meta title here is Free Attorney and Medical Referral Services. And if you come over here, it says Lawyer and Medical Accident Helpline here on the upper left tab, available 24 hours a day. That sounds really, really similar to any other type of emergency type of service when it comes to pay-per-call affiliate marketing, water damage, fire damage, mold removal, plumbing, that type of stuff. Really interesting. So my mind started to start working a bit, and I was thinking, okay, wait a second, could this really just be a lead generation platform, and that's strictly it? They're not really like a law firm that's advertising, because if you watch TV or whatever, you're going to see law firm commercials, but this one's has a brilliant marketing plan. If you just want to go watch any of their commercials, just go to YouTube. I'm sure tons and tons of them are on there. But I thought this was really, really interesting, and I started doing a little bit more digging, and I really wanted to learn more about this company. Of course, they do have like an About Us page on the site, but it's pretty broad. So I wanted to learn a bit more, and I was able to find some articles that showed a lot of really interesting information. So this first one came from the Business Observer in Florida, like a business news article site, whatever. And it was written, this article here, on April 20th, 2012, so almost 7 years ago, talking about get to know Gary behind the company. So Dr. Gary, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. His first name sits on the largest, or one of the largest outdoor concert venues in Tampa. But to many, the man behind the logo and dozens of billboards is a mystery. So that's really cool, honestly, because it shows that, I mean, you could be totally unknown. I personally, obviously, yes, I'm here on YouTube sharing content. I want to build a personal brand. That's something that I've had a goal of doing for quite some time. But that just goes to show that you can really just be unknown, and you can have your company name on a venue. I mean, look at US Bank Stadium, Target Field, Target Center, Amsoil Arena. I mean, there's the companies, and the list of them is really just endless, but that just kind of shows what is really possible here with lead generation, if that is in fact what this company is. I'm not going to, again, make any assumptions without knowing for sure, but it seems like that's what this company does. So I'm not going to read through the whole article. If you just type in Google Business Observer Florida 1-800-ASK-GARY, you'll probably find the article. So I thought this was really interesting here. So what stood out, though, tremendously was that this paragraph right here, where it states that he is a Sarasota-based chiropractor with offices that treat hundreds of accident victims statewide. But 1-800-ASK-GARY is a referral service for doctors and lawyers that he founded. So referral service or lead generation, I mean, they are somewhat synonyms. However, it could also be a very well executed marketing plan for his chiropractic offices. Either way, though, it doesn't take away the fact of how powerful and how good the marketing is to generate customers, which is what my business is all about, and what a lot of my content here on my channel is about: generating traffic and generating leads. In their case, it's from TV, radio, that type of stuff. In our case, it's organic traffic from the search engines, but it is still very cool to learn this type of stuff. So there's this article here. And so there were a couple more articles that I discovered that really told a lot more about the business and the just overall wealth building type of stuff regarding 1-800-ASK-GARY. So this one came from the Tampa Bay Times, and if you want to check it out, tampabay.com, just search 1-800-ASK-GARY, you'll probably find it. With MTV's Siesta Key, which probably sounds like another just really bad reality show. I don't watch any TV because it's pretty much all garbage. I watch two things: Supercross during winter and early spring, and motocross through the summer. I stream it through the NBC Sports Gold app because there are no commercials. But what does this have to do with 1-800-ASK-GARY? So the son of Gary, the lawyer referral service guy. Lawyer referral service, lead generation sounds pretty synonymous at this point. Stars in the MTV reality series. And so this is the house where I believe they have the show filmed at, or something of the sort. I've never watched it, never going to watch it, even though this came out over almost 2 years ago. But this house is absolutely badass, and it seems like the owning of this business was able to purchase said house, which is like 13,000 square feet on the ocean on Siesta Key, which is right off the coast from Sarasota, Florida. Straight up, I'm going to say this is a badass house. I'm not a big fan of this grass in the driveway, but hey, to each their own. And the whole thing of building wealth with cars and houses aren't going to make you happy. For me, what brings me the most fulfillment is setting up a massive, massive goal, long-term goal, whatever it is, and achieving it. Because what that does is helps me be really fulfilled that, holy shit, I just did that, and I went through all these series of steps to get to that point, and then being able to purchase said thing, whether it's however extravagant it is. And then the real thing when it comes to these types of big purchases is being in a financial position to purchase said item without breaking a single bit of sweat in order to make the purchase happen, especially owning and maintaining it after the fact, because there are a lot of people that are, like, for example, there are a lot of contractors that make $500,000 a year and they spend $450,000 of it on their lifestyle, and they're very, very stressed because they have to continue working in order to be able to maintain that lifestyle, and that's not what I'm after by any means. That's why I keep my expenses very, very low, except for my business. I reinvest as much as I can back into it to grow it. But either way, this house is badass. The rest of the article really just talks about the TV show for the most part. And the other article is from Entertainment Cheat Sheet. So take it with a grain of salt. I've never heard of this site. Not that I pay attention to entertainment news or the validity of these sites or anything like that. But they brought up the question of the kid. They started asking about how much is the Ask Gary founder worth. So it talks about here, he didn't go to chiropractor school until 1990, 96, he started his practice, but he quickly realized that there was money to be made starting a hotline. So a few years later, he founded 1-800-ASK Gary. So what that sounds like to me is that it was pretty much like a lead generation campaign, and obviously very, very, very successful. And so he actually spent $140,000 out of pocket to put together the first episode of the show, which seems to be successful because MTV put $4 million into a 10-episode premiere season. So that's interesting. And let's see here. If you're curious, the house, 12.6. So here's where they were asking about like the net worth. And these things you have to really take them with a grain of salt, because unless they are like a sports player where their contract with the team is displayed on like MLB or NFL website, or it is a publicly traded company, you're not going to be able to really get the official numbers. But they just infer that he makes at least $2 million a year. So it's hard to determine his exact net worth, but it can be inferred based on his expenses. With a home worth 12.6, you have to be taking at least $2 million per year just based on that. I don't know what the mortgage payment would be on a house like that. It's probably a good chunk. But then footing the $140,000 production bill, and then another $1 million to purchase a bar in town, several luxury cars, bought his son a $200,000 Bentley, etc., etc. So worth well into the millions, doesn't seem to be facing any financial hardship. So if the wealth stemmed all from creating 1-800-ASK Gary and executing an amazing marketing campaign, and if it grew to afford this with a mortgage of like 60 grand a month, I think is what that would be, that is incredible. That's really, really cool. Even if it didn't just stem from that, either way, to be able to advertise on an outdoor concert venue is still not cheap either. So obviously you have to be generating a fair amount of money in order to be able to do that and see a return on that advertising. So really, really cool to see stories like this, and there are hundreds upon thousands of other success stories that are similar to this, and it really just shows that if you know how to do advertising and selling, there's really no limit to what you can do. And I know this is getting into Tony Robbins stuff, but if you're someone who's just getting started and you maybe only have money to just buy a domain and a couple months worth of web hosting, that's where it starts. And you just have to continue focusing and continue reinvesting and building, because even this guy here, or if the wealth is generational and it came from someone else, someone along the line had to start something with zero. So either way, you just have to keep plugging away at it day in and day out. And I know day to day, you may not see a whole lot of progress. And when you're doing SEO, you really don't see progress on a day-to-day level. It's a multi-week, multi-month type of thing. So it can be discouraging at times, but you just got to keep pushing through. So if you guys like this type of video with looking into successful entrepreneur type of stories or whatever, leave a like down below or let me know what you think down in the comments. I thought this was really interesting, especially because I've heard the ads for a long time, never looked into it, and then I discovered that, holy crap, this is actually a really very well executed marketing campaign, and I thought that was a really cool story to share with you guys here on the channel. So if you're not already part of the family, go down below, smash that subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so that way you know when the newest content's live here on the channel. And if you want to learn more in-depth information about building websites, ranking them in the search engines, and monetizing them, there's a link right down below to my course. And with that said, I'm going to get back to work and continue chasing the dream. So I'll see you guys in the next video.